All right. What do we got? We got Ort Troll, Volpera. Why don't I just log in and look? I don't have I don't have retail installed.
So yeah, it's been the usual on and off again love hate with retail World of Warcraft. But hey, I'm ready to do an entire season of Zero to Hero, which my class is chosen by a wheel.
Maybe we just take it out first.
Hello.
Oh God, we're a gnome. If I get Rogue, I am absolutely everything else I'm confident about. Let's see what class we get.
I'm excited to see.
Oh, not Rogue. Not Rogue, please. Please no. No. I can't. I don't oh dude, I can't. I cannot. So essentially something I recognized was that the wheel didn't really record properly, so we used something different to show you guys what I'm picking and stuff like that. But we ended up getting Gnome Rogue Assassination. Now, to be very clear, the thing I didn't want to do with Gnome, or I'm sorry, Rogue, was I'd never played Rogue. And anytime I've ever looked at playing Rogue, it seemed very confusing. I'm a very simple player. I used to be a tank main, and then I went to Destro Warlock, which again, very simple. Then I went over to Ret Paladin. So I have not played anything with an extensive rotation that actually forced me to pay attention to multiple things like combo points and bleeds, stuff like that, which is what I could kind of tell by looking at Assassination Rogue for the little bit that I have looked at it. With that being said, I kind of wanted to do something a little bit exciting with this series. I'm going to be doing a solo version with a different class and spec that I'm going to show you guys that I roll and all that stuff. The reason I wanted to level this character is I am playing with my brother who has never pushed Mythic Keys at all, and my buddy Joel who is a PvP only kind of player. He's dabbled a little bit in PvE, but he's never really dove into it. And to get to 3K rating, I feel like you kind of have a good bit of knowledge of how the dungeons operate, where to kick, what it's CC, where to use your cooldowns, what's coming up, and stuff like that, like bosses and big pulls and stuff. So it is a pretty big adjustment period for two players to join me on this who have not really dove into Mythic Plus in general at the same time while I am learning my class. With that being said, we do have rules. That's what makes this series a little bit more challenging rather than you just kind of log in, buy a lot of decent gear, and then push these lower keys up and kind of get carried and all these other things. So, number one rule, we cannot use the auction house to buy gear or weapons. So essentially we could use it for like bags, flasks, enchantments. I'm not going to level all these other skills just so I can add, 150 stamina to my chest piece. We will not be rating, so every bit of gear is Mythic Plus BIS. So gear that we get out of Mythic Plus, the best gear we can get, that's it. We're not going to raid. I am allowing us to go and get this Siren Ring. I haven't played 10.7, so I don't know what that quest line or thing we have to do really is. I just saw that is on our Mythic Plus, best in slot gear. So we're going to be running that. We cannot accept gold from other players, and all of this will be streamed on kick.com/stoneowns. So if you guys want to watch it live, go ahead and check it out there. But just keep in mind that if I am streaming, I'm probably going to be ahead of the video that's being uploaded. So kind of expect that. Now, to give you guys an idea of what classes and specs they are, Mikey's going to be playing Evoker Devastation. So he's going to be another DPS. So we're at 2 DPS so far. And then Joel got Shadow Priest, which obviously you guys know is a DPS as well. So we will be pugging tanks and healers all the way to 3K rating. Some of the rules with that is they have to be around the same rating and item level for that key level. So we're not going to take somebody who's max gear who is already 3K rating to run a 2 or a 4 or a 7 or anything like that. It has to be around the key level that we're doing. With that being said as well, is it has to be our key. It will be either my key or their keys, and we will push those up to like we'll start off with 2s, we'll get them up to 4s, and then we'll go up to 6s, 7s, and stuff like that, and then so on and so forth until we get to the 3K rating. We cannot reinvite or run with the same group repeatedly. So the tank and healer will always be different in every single key that we do. And lastly, the biggest thing is our goal is to get to 3K rating. We're not doing crafted gear. We're not doing anything like I said earlier. We're not going to raid and stuff like that. So our goal is to get 3K rating and try to get all of our Mythic Plus best in slot gear on our way to 3K rating. So there will be times where there will be some videos where you guys will see that we have ran a 4 Grim Batol like 6 times in a row to get the items we need, because we don't want to push too high of a key too quick and then we're getting kind of carried by the tank or whatever. So with us three being kind of DPS, it's a little bit harder for us to quote unquote get carried, but we do want to put our 2 goals as 3K rating, best in slot Mythic Plus gear. Now the first step is we're going to get to max level, and then we'll kind of they will level at a reasonable pace, but they're not doing it all in one day like I am. So essentially, I'm going to show you guys very sped up clips of me getting to 80. That's not the main focus of the video, but I want to show you guys the progress that we're making on this individual character to get to that point. Like I said, for all the other classes specs, we're not going to level from level 1. This is different because I am leveling with them. They are I'm leveling alongside them, and at the same time, like, I need to learn what a lot of my abilities do, because I have never really sat down and played Rogue. I've logged on to Rogue, I've leveled a Rogue, but like, not really. I've never played Assassination, and I've never really looked at my rotation for Mythic Plus. A lot of my stuff I will be getting from Wowhead and guides and stuff like that to kind of read and try to get knowledgeable on, because I want to make sure that if I'm doing these keys and getting the 3K IO rating, that I personally am doing a good bit of damage. Knowing my class is going to be very important when I am playing with 2 people who do not play Mythic Plus and have not played Mythic Plus, and kind of go from there. And something random that I was thinking about while I was starting this character and looking at the fact that the entire Gnome area starts differently. You start in Gnome Oregon, and you're doing these very simple quests. And I've just played classic World of Warcraft for the last like 2 to 3 weeks, so it seems really weird going from here's 3 or 4 quests, go do all these steps, and then come back and turn them all in one big wave. Whereas retail, it's very much so like here's 1 or 2 at most. Do these quests, come back, turn them in, come back, get 1 quest, maybe 2, and then do the same thing. And it's very simplified in retail versus classic, where in classic, I felt like there was a threat to dying to almost anything to an extent, whereas retail, I felt kind of invincible. I mean, you'll see at a certain point where I can stealth and then just start one-shotting. So it's like, it just seems weird how much the area has changed, and I get that a lot of people will be like, well, Stoned, it's been 20 years since the game released. Why would this area not change? And I completely understand that, and I completely get that, but it is also weird. But yes, to kind of finish off this introduction video of the Assassination Gnome Rogue, I will show you guys a very fast clip of, us hitting, 80 and stuff like that, recording it, showing it on stream, that kind of stuff. And I didn't want to make this first video way too long. I kind of wanted to explain the series that we're going to be working on. And then on the side, I'm going to roll and upload a video of me getting another class and spec and learning that as well. I do play the game a lot. I do have a lot of free time to play, so me running 2 different, series in one category isn't really going to be too bad. It will be an adjustment to hopefully not get like Arcane Mage while I'm also learning Assassination Rogue, because that'll be a lot of information all at once. And I would like to preface that I was a tank and a couple other classes in Dragonflight, and I'd really like to push those to the end of the series. Like, my number 1 goal with this entire project is to get every single class and spec to 3K rating, and record that and show you guys that process of, hey, we're doing heroic dungeons, and then we're going to move into Mythic Plus and stuff like that. And I feel like doing that with classes that I have played somewhat recently, like all of the tanks outside of Guardian Druid, Destrolog, Boomkin, Ret Paladin, I feel like those ones can get pushed to the end of it, and we can do classes and specs that I really haven't touched on, and certain classes and stuff like that, like roles such as healers, that's going to be a reasonably long series for me because I've never played healer outside of Mistweaver Monk, and for anybody who's played Mistweaver Monk and you're fist weaving, you also understand that that is an extremely easy healing class to kind of get to that 3K rating on as a healer in that perspective. But I've never played like Resto Shaman or Disc Priest or Holy Priest or Preservation Evoker or anything like that in Mythic Plus. So those ones I'm gonna try to make it to where I'm not doing these back to back, but I still kind of want it to be random, so I'm not just picking and choosing what class and spec to go next. So look, if you guys enjoy the idea of this series and you guys want to see us make this entire series through and through, leave a like, subscribe, comment below what you guys are excited about, or any tips or any rules you guys think I should add for future series to make it even more exciting. But the biggest thing is I want to limit it to, I'm not getting handouts, I'm not going to raid and getting geared up from LFR to just immediately hop into twos and just knock them out with no problem. I do believe that getting those mythic twos, those 2 keys and those 4 keys will be reasonably easy, so we can kind of do those with bad gear. But again, we're still inviting tanks and healers that are going to be around our item level and rating, so we won't be inviting like, you know, MDI players to just run these low keys. So there will be somewhat of a struggle, and you know, all 3 of us are learning classes that we have never played. So, like I said, if you guys enjoyed, like, subscribe, comment below what you guys look forward to, if you guys have new rules or anything like that, and I will catch you guys in the next video.